Okay, we'll begin with assistant coach Matt Abdelmassih. I might as well start with the first choice, fellow Giants fan, Robin Washut.
The only reason why I'm staying on the Zoom is because Robin's wearing his Giants hat and shirt. I like it.
Hey man, long time coming. All right, so obviously, Fred kind of ran down the 2021 class, talked about the things he liked in it. I guess I just wanted to ask you, how proud you as a staff were to assemble that class in the middle of a pandemic when you're bringing guys in that have never been to Lincoln, Nebraska, have never seen the campus, and yet, you're still able to sell this vision of what you and Fred and the rest of the staff are trying to build.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, everyone's on the same level playing field with everything getting shut down in March and remain shut down. And I think what you're seeing is relationships are the ones that are carrying through with getting commitments from these kids. We were fortunate enough to have Wilhelm on an official visit last year for the Ohio State game, which was clearly a incredible opportunity to showcase everything that not only as a program but as a university we have to offer all these kids. With K-Shay, that's a relationship that dated back prior to me coming to Nebraska, and same thing with Bryce. So, the familiarity certainly paid off with all three kids and carried through. But, when it comes to the challenging times, it speaks volume to the resources we have at the school. Our graphics team did an absolute phenomenal job and putting together these virtual visits, what really showcasing the incredible facilities we have, which is not an easy thing to capture on video, and I think they did as good of a job as you possibly can have and do through video. So all of those advantages to having such a great team that's in the background working definitely paid off with this class.
Sam McEwen.
Hey, Matt, congrats on the class. Obviously, you guys are really good and savvy at working transfer markets and understanding where players might be moving. But I found it notable that there are two high school kids, top 100 kids in this class. So it's more than just finding good transfers. Do you feel like maybe sometimes your guys' ability to attract and recruit high school kids is underrated, and maybe this underlines what you guys are trying to do in blending veterans and young players?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's very well chronicled of being aggressive in the transfer market. But we've also made it very clear that we're just trying to accrue the most talented team 1 through 13 every single year, whether that comes via the transfer market, high school scene, international, JUCO, wherever it may be. We're certainly not going to stop from taking a talented kid just because they're one and not the other. We've always, I feel like, done a great job of establishing relationships with high school kids and evaluating who fits well and can thrive in our system. But the bottom line is we'll never neglect transfers. That would be like neglecting free agency, being NBA guys, me spending 2 years and, of course, Coach spending a lifetime in the league. Free agency is really where you break through and put your organization in a position to win a championship. And the way college basketball is, we've treated that transfer market just like that since the day we walked through the door in college 10, 11 years ago. We'll do the same at Nebraska. We feel like we're a destination to attract the best players in the country, the best players in the world, no matter where they're coming from, no matter what route they take. We certainly take kids that have interesting paths to get here, and we're never going to shy away from continuing to add talent no matter what route they get to Nebraska.
I had a question, Kai. Did you guys have to work through a language barrier there to recruit him, or is that not an issue?
Yeah, so early on, yes. Actually, every time I talked to him and his family, I had to have a translator on the phone. Did not speak a lick of English. Currently, his English has really improved drastically where, I FaceTime with him a lot and he can have a decent conversation with you. So, he's as hard of a worker I've ever seen, not only on the court but off the court, because you're talking about and not that many people on the Zoom call have been to Ranger, Texas, but this is a kid that came from a city in Japan, so a different part of the world, and got transplanted and put in Ranger, Texas. For him to survive the year and have as good of a year as he did speaks volume of who he is as a person, his character, his work ethic.
Michael Brunst?
And Matt, Fred had kind of talked a little bit about Wilhelm and maybe kind of what you initially saw in him, in scouting him. I mean, is he kind of the perfect fit for the offense you guys want to run in terms of what he can do?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly was, to me, the priority at that position from the beginning of, like, when Coach said when we saw him in Virginia at the top 100 camp. You need skill on the floor if you're going to play in this system, and we're going to win at the level that we expect to. And he brings that versatility at that spot that we desperately need. His ability to stretch the floor, knock down shots. Like Coach said, his passing ability is unbelievable. And, the exciting thing about all three kids, but specifically Wilhelm, is they're not even close to reaching their potential. And that's really exciting because the foundation that he has, Wilhelm, that is very, very good, but where he can go is even better. And, one thing that I've always believed in, of course, from day one, dating back to our years at Iowa State, is, when you give Fred Hoiberg the skill and the versatility, good luck guarding it. And that's how I feel about the three guys coming in.
Just one quick follow-up too. I mean, everything you guys kind of had to fight with, not being able to get out and recruit and, the extended dead period and all that other stuff. How much is of a selling point is Fred's system? I mean, it seems like that's kind of the common thread with a lot of these guys is just how attractive that is to recruits.
So, of course, the system is important, but the important factor when you're recruiting, especially to Nebraska, is the system is backed up by unbelievable results. Having 10 NBA players in 5 years when we were at Iowa State is a tremendous achievement, and that's what the kids want to hear. How are you going to give me that path to make the NBA and reach my goals? Specifically with Bryce, that's important. When you put yourself in the category having that fifth star, that NBA talk is as vital as can be in selling him that this is going to be the place that maximizes his talent. The system certainly maximizes the skill sets of our players. Always being one of the fastest teams in the country, the faster you play, the more opportunities you have. The more opportunities you have, probably the happiness is as high as possibly can be. And that to me is all ingredients to really having the success that we all think we will have at Nebraska. And, certainly having all the proven results, the proven track record was huge in assembling the class.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic.
Hey, Matt, I'm just looking at Ranger, Texas here on the map. I don't think I've been there. But since you were talking about transfers, question on that. As the NCAA looks to potentially make some significant changes here in the next year on sitting out for Division I transfers, how does that impact the playing field and the strategy that you'll have and have to change, if you have to change it at all, in regard to the way you approach those?
Well, it probably makes for my wife being even more pissed off at me in the spring, because that means these kids, it's going to be even more crazy movement in April, May, and past that. Listen, I'm always a big advocate in giving the players more rights and opportunities, and certainly this does that. I think that there's plenty of scenarios across the country where kids were penalized sitting out when it was not their doing. I think it creates uniformity across the board, which I think we're definitely in need of. For us specifically, it won't change anything. We're going to be active. Whatever the rules are, we'll adapt. There's no reason not to adapt when I feel like we're one of the first programs to show that you can build a program off of transfers, and we'll continue to show that and continue to benefit off of having really productive springs.
If I can ask you two quick about Teddy, I know you were instrumental in getting him to Lincoln. What have you seen with the adjustment he's been able to make off the court, on the court? Fred mentioned that he had a big scrimmage at PBA last week. So, from your perspective and the way that he's adjusting to Lincoln, what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? And we're all victim of it, judging a book by its cover. And, certainly if anybody did their homework on Teddy Allen as a person, it would have been a lot more difficult to get him. But a lot of programs, and rightfully so, stayed away because of his past. I always viewed that as an opportunity to really find out who they are as people. And the first time I talked to him, I really got the vibe that this is a good-hearted kid, deserves an opportunity to prove himself and prove a lot of people wrong. The day he's gotten on campus in early June to today, it really has solidified what I thought of him the first time we talked all the way back in August of last year. He's a good-hearted kid. He works his tail off. He wants to be good. He wants to get better in so many areas, specifically off the court. We haven't had one issue with him. He's represented himself, most importantly, in the professional manner that you would expect, and has represented the university in a way that everyone would be proud of. We certainly have shown that we're there for him, just like everybody, to be able to trust the staff, being able to walk into the office and confide in them is exactly the safe environment that we want to put our players in. And that's when we really feel like we can reach our full potential, when they feel like we have their back. And I know Teddy feels that, and I think he's very, very comfortable, and for the first time in a long time is able to step on that court feeling like, I want to go to the battle with these guys.
Next, go to Gavin Struvey.
The three new signees for the 2021 class are very different players. How do you think they fit together as potential building blocks for this program?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind with all three is skill. They all bring the skill set that we feel like translates to the offense that coach wants to run. And shot-making ability certainly is the one skill set that all three bring at a borderline elite level. And whenever you have guys that can make shots in Fred Hoiberg's system, like I said before, good luck guarding it. He'll pick you apart, and we feel like with those three guys and the nucleus that we expect to return next season has a chance to be clearly one that we're very excited about. Just like this year, we feel like we have shot-making ability to really showcase the system at the level that could translate in the win column.
And last, we'll go to Robin Washington.
Hey, Matt, another interesting wrinkle to this year is the potential for, the free year of eligibility. You guys have two seniors. Have you talked to Thor or Kobe about, what their potential plans would be as far as coming back maybe in 21, 22? And I guess what's your your stance on that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think was a great rule and very fair, because although we hope to get a full season in, I think you have to be realistic. There's going to be interruptions, and none of it's caused or inflicted by any one individual. This is something we have no control over. So to give them that year of eligibility was something that is beneficial for every student athlete. When it comes to Kobe and Thor, we have talked to them about it. I mean, it's so premature to even have those conversations. But when they passed it, in fairness, we talked to everybody about it, because, it's definitely impacts every player in the entire country. So it's not like there's any decision being made on today's date. It's something that will play out as time goes on. I think it's just great to have options, and we wanted to make sure all our kids know that those options will be respected, and when the time is right, discuss it with them and see what's the best for them.
Perfect. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining the call today. This will conclude today's call.